Why did you tell that story? Because you could have continued to hide it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
why that one?
Because I felt like it could cost someone's life.
Yeah. You're listening to the Redefining Wealth Podcast with Patrice Washington. This is the space that you come to each and every week to learn more about what it means to chase purpose, not money. Now, one of the ways that I know to really chase purpose is to use your voice and share your story in the marketplace with the hopes that your purpose will come alive and truly attract the people you are called to serve. And I'm so excited about this entire week. I have been interviewing graduates of my signature program, Command the Stage. It's a 6-week speaker training where I teach you how to become more bold, more confident, more powerful, more memorable, and more magnetic from the stage. And that's not just a physical stage, virtual stages are included. It doesn't matter if you want to impact one person in your home or 10 people in the boardroom, or maybe get to the point like I do where I can speak to thousands of people from the stage. No matter what it is, it takes a lot of spirit and also a strategy, which is what I teach in the program. And I'm so excited that today I get to interview another one of my amazing clients, and that is Tafrica Harewood. Tafrica, known as the Spirit Doula, is a coach, transformational communicator. Oh, I like that, Tafrica. DEI consultant and founder of As Yourself Coaching. As a student of intercultural competence, adult development, emotional intelligence, and spiritual awareness, Tafrica brings her expertise and masterful intuition to each encounter with clients to support the creation of meaningful outcomes. Her client centered approach grants professionals and leaders from top performing organizations an opportunity to experience results that move individuals and teams toward authentic awareness, sustainable transformation, and work in alignment with their deepest intentions. Ooh, without further ado, here is Tafrica Harewood. Hey,
Thank
Tafrica.
you. Hello. Hello.
I'm
What
so
a
glad you're
pleasure.
here.
An absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you.
First of
Thank
all, you look beautiful. Come on, skin.
you.
Come on,
As
skin.
you
I
do.
know
As
nothing
you
that I
do.
just said had anything to do with skincare, but I feel like there's another podcast brewing just around skincare. Okay, so Tafrica, I want to start with how did you find me initially?
On Steve Harvey.
Oh, that
Yeah.
means you are OG.
An OG. Yes. Yes.
Was it the talk show or the radio show?
It was the talk show. It was the talk show. And I was blown away. I was like, this woman is the real deal. And she's
Wow.
giving advice that I can actually use.
Wow. So did
Mhm.
that make you come find me in social, or did you stumble upon me then years later?
So I did. I stumbled upon you years later when it was time. When it was time, because there had been this sense, like the spirit doula, there's a whole story behind that. But I had heard in my spirit probably 10 years ago that God had called me to operate in the marketplace and in ministry as a spiritual doula, but I really hadn't stepped into it yet. And it was when I was ready to carry that mantle that God said, okay, now is time, because and everything aligned, let me tell you, because there it was probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I saw this offer to do like a 12-week, it was probably
P2P?
your first platform to
Purpose the
purpose
platform?
to platform,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, I cannot afford this. And let me tell you, God did a work in my finances and everything. And so I was ready. I was like, I can manage it, I can handle it. So went to Command the Stage and thought, this is it, Lord. And you delivered. Let me
Oh,
tell you.
oh my gosh. Okay. So one of the things that I love that you shared is that you originally met me on the Steve Harvey show, because a lot of people who know me now don't even realize that I was the money maven of the Steve Harvey talk show. So I had a recurring spot where I would come on every 6 weeks, 8 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
And in the talk show world, that's really good. I did that for
Mm-hmm.
3.5 years. And I was on the Steve Harvey morning show, the radio show, weekly from
Mm-hmm.
2014 to 2018. And I really look back at that and I look at the evolution of my story, because when I
Mm-hmm.
originally got those opportunities, I still was in a place where I thought that if I shared that I had lost everything in the recession and I went from a 7-figure business to scraping up change, that I
Mm-hmm.
had gone from matching Range Rovers to applying for welfare,
Mm.
that people would go, why did I have her on here? Who is she? What is she supposed to be talking about? And it was around 2016,
Mm-hmm.
midway through those opportunities, that I finally got to a place where I was like, I have to share my truth. It's not enough to like give this mountaintop version.
Yes.
You got to let people know that you've been in the valley,
Yeah.
because I kept, having people come up to me and say, well, you don't know what it's like to have to choose between paying a bill and feeding your child. And I'm like, do I? Yes, I
Right.
do. But I realized that I had protected so much of the real story, thinking that would make me appear more credible.
Yes.
And the more I started to tell the truth and really tell that story, like the whole bathroom floor moment and everything that I experienced, oh my gosh, the freedom.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because
Mm.
imposter syndrome, right, will also
Mm-hmm.
have you moving around like, somebody gonna find me out. Somebody gonna find me out. Eventually, somebody's gonna be like, why y'all listening to her? She was on welfare and she did this and she did that, right? And
Right.
so, how has your experience, has it become more freeing now that you've owned more of your story? And I want you to tell your story, because I was blown away by you. I was
Wow.
we were sitting in that Command the Stage live room like, what is even happening here? That was my first time. That was my first. I know the ambassadors may have heard you in the small groups, but that was
Mhm.
my first time hearing you, and I was blown away. So
Wow.
let's start with your story and then tell us about if it has been freeing at all.
Okay. All right. So let's go back a while, quite a while, well before Command the Stage, well before I saw you on Steve Harvey. And I had been struggling really intensely. But I will say this, that like I shared with you, 10 years ago, God put into my spirit this whole idea of the Spirit Doula. And I thought then that I was ready to go. So I'm trying to help everybody and trying to be everybody's coach and all of this, but was not really dealing with myself. So when you talk about hiding, essentially, the parts of yourself that you thought people would not accept, that was all that I was doing before the Spirit Doula dropped in my spirit, and even after, honestly. I mean, I was hiding at school, I hid at church, I hid at home, even from people that I knew loved me, but hiding was my way of life. It was the really, really the one thing that I did well, that I did really well. And to a certain extent took pride in, because the people that I surrounded myself with um, likely didn't want to know anything else about me, or at least that's what I told myself, right? Um, but the hiding had to come to an end, and it did. And it was a pretty drastic um, ending. So I had become so caught up in this game of hiding, this hide and seek game, that we play, hiding behind achievements, hiding behind degrees, hiding behind job titles, even like marriage, mother, all of those things. And I was so tired, Patrice. I was tired, like to the bone tired. I had become violent. with my children, with my husband. And on this one particular day, and I mean, I was probably a week out from having showered. So I'm in the shower. Finally, I'm menstruating. I'm depressed. I mean, everything's going on that could possibly go wrong. I step out of the shower and my daughter's room is a mess. It sets me off. I'm like, you got to clean this up. Not that it was really about her room, but I'm like, you got to clean this up. She said something back that I didn't like, and I lost it. And I am hitting her over and over again. And she just looks at me and she's like, do your worst. Just do your worst. And I could finally, like that moment, I saw myself and what I had become and what I was doing to my family. And I got up, blood and water everywhere. Like it's a mess. I get dressed and I walk out the door and I can feel the heat under my feet. Like I'm walking down the road, no shoes on. And I paused. I went back to the house and I grabbed what I considered to be a strong cloth. So I'm walking down the street, heat under my feet, heat on my face, breeze blowing. And it's a beautiful day. Like the sky is blue. There's just clouds in just the right places. The birds are singing, but all I can feel is what I'm feeling. And that's it. This has to be over. This has to be the end, because I can't do this to myself or my children, my family anymore. So I walk down to the end of our gap and I find a tree. And it was just high enough, that I wouldn't be able to touch the ground, strong enough that it wouldn't break. And I tied the cloth to the end of the tree branch, and I tied the other end around my neck. And I was just waiting. I was like, Lord, just send a strong enough wind to knock me off the branch, because I can't do it. The breeze is still blowing. And then the Holy Spirit. It wasn't even like words, but it was just like this knowing that all of these people had deposited all of these beautiful things inside of me. That would be the end of them if I decided to die that day. And so I said, Lord, if you will help me get the knot out, because I tied it like I meant it, then I will know and I will go get help immediately. And he did. And I did. Only thing I did, I went to put on shoes and I grabbed my purse. I got in the car. I didn't talk to anybody. I went as straight as I could. There's a longer story, but I went straight to the doctor. She prescribed a medication that day. And that was the beginning, the next chapter of my journey. But a year from then, I was standing on the stage at Command the Stage. A year from that, I was standing on the stage. So
when someone says what a difference a year can make, baby.
Look.
What a difference a year can make.
Look. Yes.
You shared that story at Command the Stage Live, and I don't know if you could even see us, like really take in the faces, right? And everything that was happening. But girl, every mouth was dropped, like there was not a dry eye, because as you guys are listening to this story and you heard me read Tafrica's bio, and that's why I wanted to honor her as well and read her entire bio. It is always the parts of us that people least expect,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. You hear that bio, and it's like, this woman is untouchable.
Mm.
She has all of this education and all of the accomplishments and all of the experience, and her life must be peaches and roses and rainbows.
Mm.
And then you stand with, and you have such a calming presence, which is the other part, which is why I was like, wait a minute, what is what is happening? You also have such a calming presence, so for you to share that you had lost it like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's the power of telling the truth, because it humanized you.
Mm-hmm.
It humanized you. You're a very strong woman. You have a strong presence. You have a strong bio and all of those things. And then you tell that story and it just humanizes you. Why did you tell that story? Because you could have continued to hide it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
why that one?
Because I felt like it could cost someone's life.
Yeah.
My friend Tiffany had committed suicide 2 years before. She was at the top of her game. And I mean, high up in the attorney general's office in her state, and just an amazing woman, really powerful leader in terms of like her community. Um, Tiffany died in such a state that she would not even allow us after her death to hold a memorial for her. Um, and I thought it can't be just the two of us. I was like, because it feels too much like I'm by myself. It must be the enemy's trick so that I'll go away quietly and leave someone else thinking that they're the only one and that there's nothing on the other side of it.
I'll go away quietly.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what the enemy wants us all to do?
Mm-hmm.
We are taught that we overcome by our testimony,
Right.
yet we are shamed for our stories. People will
Mm-hmm.
weaponize what we've experienced,
Yeah.
right? We are intimidated by the insecurities of others because they want our stories to be about them and our stories about us. Even if you're a supporting character, my story's about me ultimately, and the lessons that I came here to learn, right? With
Mm-hmm.
this one life that I get. And yet, the enemy of your soul wants you to tiptoe out of here and leave quietly,
Mm-hmm.
when really you've been blessed with the task or given the task
Mm-hmm.
of telling the truth so that someone else knows that they're not alone.
Right. Absolutely.
Tafrica. So, have you been telling this story since Command the Stage?
I haven't been telling the story. I've been living the next chapter.
Okay, tell me about that. What does that mean?
So the next chapter looked like um, signing up immediately for Purpose to Platform. And I was like, I have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but I'm going to jump in after my trip to Africa. I had this big trip to Africa planned. And I was like, okay, I'm going to miss a couple of weeks, but I'm going to jump in right after that.
What happened?
The very long story short is that in these months since, I have almost lost my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were in the process of trying to figure out, okay, when are you going to have the kids and when am I going to have the kids? Am I going to stay here in Barbados or are we going to go back to the States? We were, trying to figure out, finances and all of this. So I almost lost my marriage. My daughter and I both were diagnosed as bipolar. And it's been an unbelievable ride. And I had to just take a step back. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
You are going to, in the words of my mother, truly learn to just be.
Baby.
Baby.
Yes. You know, I used to say all the time in Command the Stage and in Purpose to Platform, when we are being called to use our story and we're out there sharing things, I
Mhm.
feel every time a test will come to be like, so is that what you really believe? Use it on you.
That's right.
Is that how you really feel? Use it on you.
That's right.
Whatever you are going to go out there and say is something that you believe will help transform other people, I feel like before that real breakthrough, there's always like a season of breakdown that is like, you do it. And
Yes.
then let's see if these steps really stick. If they stick, then you are free to go share. If they do not,
Absolutely.
back to the drawing board for you.
That's it. That's it. That's literally been it. So I have
Wow.
come back to the drawing board to say, I will show up as my full self in as many spaces as God puts me in
Mm-hmm.
and operate in obedience in those spaces to share what He calls me to share, be who He's called me to be. And when it's time, when it's time, I will know. I
Mm-hmm.
will absolutely know.
Now, I know you think you know a little something about speaking with purpose, but what you really want to do is command the stage. Listen, the doors to Command the Stage are officially open and you are invited. I know you have a message that you want to deliver powerfully in the marketplace in 2022. And remember, marketplace could be as an entrepreneur or as a teacher or even as an executive in a boardroom. If you don't know how to tell a story with purpose, with conviction, then you will never move people to action. And therefore, you won't create transformation. So, stop waiting, stop hiding, stop being afraid to tell your story. Join me for Command the Stage, and I will show you my framework for what it means and what it takes to truly deliver authentically and powerfully and magnetically. All the details are here. Click the link and you will learn more about what Command the Stage entails. And I really just can't wait to be your coach because I know what a difference can be made when we lean into our story and use it to be a blessing to others. I just want to show you the way, so join me for Command the Stage. You know what I love about that? When I look back over my journey, I can look at very specific like milestones, just different
Mhm.
things that occurred that I did not experience for that season. It
Mm.
it was a part of the stuff that was going to support me in future seasons. In the moment, I was like, I don't understand. I don't even know what that was about. Or sometimes you don't even think about it consciously. But you move on and then you look back and you're like, that's why I learned that thing. Because I believe that when it's your go time, as I share this with you guys and probably both programs, whenever the spirit hits me, I believe that many times when we become more clear about our purpose and what it feels like God is calling us to do and what that could potentially look like, there's still seasons sometimes that feel like we're being like pulled back,
Yes.
right? Whether it's because of resistance or there's like some uncertainty that's bubbling up. There's just something that feels like it's too much going on that you're being pulled back. And a lot of us think sometimes that, well, that's the quote unquote enemy. Well, that's the enemy trying to keep you from your thing. Sometimes I believe that that's a part of God's preparation because we need to experience more. There are some things that we need to go deeper in. There are some relationships we have not made yet. There is
Yes.
exposure to different things that we haven't quite, gleaned yet, right? But we're being pulled back, but we're like an arrow, right?
Correct.
That we're being pulled
That's
back and we're being prepared. But
that's
when we are released, when
mhm.
that day comes, when
Baby.
that time comes, you
Yes.
have already been prepared. There
Yeah.
is no, launching to do the thing without preparation. That's why most people's launches fall. That's why so many things don't go the way that you think
Mhm.
it should go. You want to skip over that period where you are being pulled back. There are blessings in that season of being pulled back. There's a
Mhm.
blessing in this season of being still. There is a
Mhm.
blessing in this season of tuning everything out and minding your business. There is a
Mhm.
blessing in
Mhm.
all of this. There is a blessing in all of this. And so I just believe that you are being pulled back. You have done a lot of the work. You've been doing those things for at least a year and a half now, right? Where you've been
Mhm.
getting clear both personally and professionally. And when you are released, you are like an arrow that won't miss.
Yes.
Just you being here and still
Mhm.
being willing, because this is the thing about Command the Stage. Tafrica learned that she could tell any story she wants. She knows the framework.
Mhm.
She could
Mhm.
have got up here and told a totally different story and been like, well, I haven't been doing the things that Patrice heard when I did the story, so I'm just gonna you could have told any story you wanted. There are tens of thousands of people who are gonna hear this episode. And I
Mm.
know that you saved lives today.
Mm.
For all what you may think has not been going on in these several months,
Mhm.
this podcast episode today, right now, is going to save lives. And potentially the reach is more
Mm.
than the things you would have been out there doing trying to keep busy. God
Mhm.
said, focus on you, focus on your marriage, focus on your health, focus on your mental well being, focus on your family. And
Mhm.
still, He brought you an opportunity to use that story and be a blessing to many. And I guarantee you, someone's
Mm.
life is saved today.
Amen.
And I am so proud of you.
Thank you. Wow.
I
Mm.
am so proud of you because you could have got up here and faked the funk.
Mm.
And I am so grateful. I am so grateful to lead a community of people because it's top down, and y'all know that I don't play with like
It's true.
like y'all. It's worse in the groups because then I'm really free to say all the things that I want to say, right? But I've always wanted to use this platform to not be a space where people are looking for perfection or thinking that this journey is about perfection. I always
Mhm.
say this thing is about obedience. We are
Yes.
here to be obedient. Perfection not required, not
Yeah.
needed, not required, not desired. God has called you to be obedient, not to
Mhm.
be perfect. And your obedience today, Tafrica, I just feel it so deeply in my belly. You see, I keep turning because I want to throw my whole little computer setup here out the door because I'm so grateful to lead, but to be a part of a community where we understand that this is not about smoke and mirrors.
Mhm.
It's not about putting on airs.
Mhm.
It's not about, trying to fake like everything in your life is perfect. We keep it real in this space. The
Yeah.
groups keep it real. Our community keeps it so real. And I am just, I'm so full.
Me too.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
full.
Thank you.
Thank you for keeping it real today.
Thank you for allowing me. You create the space. And I want to say, I'll try to be as brief as I can, to say that watching you be yourself, I don't care who you were talking to, if you were talking to the folks from Success Magazine, if you were in the conversation with Steve Harvey, if you were on your way to the bathroom, I mean, like, no matter where it was, I didn't feel any need to be anything other than myself. And it was modeled, like you said, from the top down. You see it everywhere. And so thank you for being you. Thank you for being obedient. I mean, you talked about that shower moment and you said, y'all, I got to do this thing. I don't care what COVID says. And this is just one story of many.
Of so many, of so many. And every time I think about that download in the shower and feeling like God was like, hey, it's on you. You need to train the next generation of transformational speakers. I knew in my spirit that it was not about seeing everyone get on big stages. I
Right.
knew that Command the Stage was about freeing people to tell the truth.
Yes. Yes.
However they go on to use it, I'm not attached to.
That's right.
But to know that they can stand in their truth and not allow anyone to weaponize it, including themselves,
That's right.
that is what this is about. How
Mm-hmm.
you choose to use it is on you. But it
Mm-hmm.
is so much deeper than skill set. There is so much in that group. Did you not just feel chains breaking for yourself? I'm sure, but for
Absolutely.
others.
Absolutely. You could see it. You would see someone before they got on stage, and when they came off, or when you heard a story, you were like, whoa, who was that up there? Wow. That woman was
Yes.
changed in a moment.
Yes.
In a
Yes.
moment.
I just think about, Yvette Foster. She did a
Yes.
Purpose Promise Live with me a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And Yvette, like the videos of her practicing or just talking, she wasn't even practicing yet. She was just like, here's how my day went. I'm not going to be able to do it. Like she was giving us all the things. And then she comes to Command the Stage Live and wrecks it. Like,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
like, who are you? What is even happening here? But
Mm-hmm.
those are the moments that I live for
Mm-hmm.
because it's so much bigger
Yeah.
than the small box we tried to put this purpose thing in. Like you said, many of us, we play hide and seek.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We are so used to playing hide and seek, hiding from ourselves,
Yes.
like we can put on the face at church and at work and with
Mm-hmm.
neighbors and with friends and with family, and we can do all the things. Um but ultimately that story wants to stop being, pushed down under the surface. The story wants to come out because it's going to save a life.
Yes.
All of us have something that is going to, none of this is too small to talk
Mm-hmm.
about. It's all
Mm-hmm.
big. And girl, I don't know, I just love y'all. I don't know, I don't have anything else to say. This interview is done. No.
Love you too.
So as someone who didn't immediately leave Command the Stage and run out and do all the things,
Mm-hmm.
do you regret coming?
Oh no, absolutely not. Mm-mm. For the very reasons you just said, because everybody's not going to be on a big stage.
Mm-hmm.
And the need, there is no one who does not need to be able to tell themselves the truth, at the very least. And to hear it said out loud is so liberating.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, by no means do I regret coming at all. Mm-mm.
I'm so glad. Like I'm so glad that you still feel that way. And I just believe that coming was a part of that preparation. Even you moving on to P2P and having access to what's taught there, a part of
Mm-hmm.
that preparation, because when you are released, you already know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Worst thing to do is be released and you don't know where you're going.
Right.
Like, right? Like, well, which way is the arrow going in? But when you are released and you already have an idea and a framework and I know where to drop this, I know how to piece this thing together.
Mm.
That feels a lot better than just walking around here aimlessly. So again, I just want to commend you for coming here today and telling your truth.
Thank
the
you.
whole the whole bit about it. I know it's going to be a blessing to so many people. I pray that you just continue to, as you navigate everything that's going on, just experience a freedom and a
Mm-hmm.
peace and a joy
Mm-hmm.
that transcends all understanding.
Amen.
You are so incredible, such a dynamic woman. um and I'm just grateful to have had an opportunity to serve you. I'm grateful. And when you're out there released, I'm gonna be like, I knew Tafrica win. I knew Tafrica win. Yes, I did. Um, Any last thoughts for anyone on the fence about Command the Stage? They have like, I think, another 48 hours or so to register at the time that this is released. Do you want to, any parting words?
I would say jump on board. You will not regret it. You will only benefit. You will only benefit. Yeah. Don't let anything be a hindrance. Make the move. Yeah.
Make the move. Well,
Mhm.
Tafrica, thank you so much. Listen, you guys, if you want more information about Command the Stage, please feel free to go to commandthestage.com. Commandthestage.com. We are enrolling for another 48 hours or so. Um, I don't know how else to tell y'all that this community is such a blessing,
Yes.
and being able to tell yourself the truth is the first step. And
Mhm.
there are a lot of layers that get peeled back. I'm gonna tell you now, Command the Stage is intense. It's a whole situation.
Yes.
You have to want to do the work, but I promise you the results on the other side will be worth it. Not just for the people that you can serve, but for how you speak to yourself about what season of life you're in. The ability to truly own your truth, no matter what season you find yourself in, and know that you have the power to still be the victor in your story. You don't have to tell it from a place of victimhood. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So if it's an audience of one, yourself, or an audience of 10,000, you will be equipped. All right. Come over, find out more, commandthestage.com. Tafrica, are you on social these days? Are you taking a social media break?
I am on and off, I will tell you, but I am available at tafrica.h on Instagram, and you can also find me by my full name on LinkedIn.
Got it. Tafrica.h on Instagram or Tafrica Harewood on LinkedIn. And if you are the person, it may just be one. We do this for an audience of one, right? If you are the person who completely identifies with Tafrica's story, like literally she saved your life today, can you please just tell her? Can you reach out to her on Instagram? Find her on LinkedIn and just tell her it was me, because she was bold enough and honest enough and transparent enough and authentic enough to show up today for you.
Mm.
So if it was you, it always helps. It always feels so good and fulfilling to know the one person that you came for. And I want you to let Tafrica know that she didn't log in all the way from Barbados to play around today. She came for you. Let her know. That's it for me. I hope to see you in Command the Stage. We start this weekend with welcome orientation on Sunday. I hope to have an opportunity to serve you as well. And that's it. Until next time, I want you to go live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without ever feeling like you have to chase money. I'll talk to you later.